Ciao, ciao cari colleghi, eccomi di nuovo. Buon sabato sera. Eccoci siamo con un'altra intervista con una persona super speciale, un amico mio di vecchi tempi, Robert Vetica. Aspetta, adesso colleghiamo. Oh, Robert Vetica. Eccolo. Questo è Robert Vetica. Vediamo. Dovrebbe collegarsi adesso. Ciao cari colleghi. Ecco Robert. Hello Robert.
Ciao amore, come stai?
Tutto bene qui in Italia. Stai lì a Hollywood.
Hollywood, sono qui a Hollywood.
Sì, allora, cari colleghi, Robert speaks a little Italian, parla un po' italiano, e
Sì.
per cui parleremo un po' inglese, un po' italiano e scopriremo tante cose di Robert. Robert conosco da, Dio, almeno 30 anni minimo, credo, di più.
Anche 40.
E Robert è una collega nostra, un parrucchiere famosissimo a California, in Hollywood, e lui lavora i personaggi del spettacolo. Robert, so tell us about you and your life. Everybody is so curious to know who is Robert Vetica and what is he up to?
Really? What do you want to know? What should I tell you?
We want to know all about what it's like to be Robert Vetica in Hollywood and exactly what it is to be like. Okay, so there's so many dimensions, ci sono tante dimensioni del nostro lavoro. Si può essere una professionista della bellezza in tante diverse sfaccettature e tu hai creato proprio un mondo tutto tuo per quello che riguarda il nostro campo lì a Hollywood. You've created your own world there. And so many of us are curious as to what is it like to be, you know, a celebrity hairdresser in Los Angeles and how you've carved this reality out for yourself.
Sì,
Come
ma
hai creato questa realtà?
uno deve capire bene come quando ho creato questi celebrity hairdresser non esisto prima di 1990. È successo dopo il 1994-95, perché prima di quella le celebrities e le models e moda è due mondi differenti. Io sono arrivato qui nel 1993 da Milano, dove io ho lavorato nel mondo di moda. Io ho cominciato a lavorare qui e in quel periodo lì tu lavori non con la celebrity, solo con i photographers, directors, music videos, come hai fatto anni fa in Italia. I photographers and directors are the ones that hired you. Allora quando è arrivato qua, nel 93, io ho cominciato a lavorare, ho preso un'agenzia, ho cominciato a lavorare con un paio di, piano, dopo 2 o 3 anni ho conosciuto i bravi photographers come Herb Ritz, Matthew Ralston, Peggy Sirota, ho lavorato con tanti e in quel momento io ho conosciuto tanti, prima c'è la musicista, the singers, like la mia prima è Stefani. Dopo Gloria Stefani era Shakira. Dopo Shakira c'era Jennifer Lopez, Mariah Carey. Ho lavorato tanto in quel mondo lì. E dopo, diciamo, 95, 96, 98, ho cominciato il mondo di celebrities and fashion. Collided.
Exactly. That's when that celebrities started becoming fashion icons themselves.
Sì, perché hai visto il brands, no?
Yeah,
Il ditti di moda, hai capito che l'attrice hanno tanto potere tanto reach out della pubblica, no?
Yeah.
E prima di quello non hai visto Sharon Stone sulla copertina di magazine,
Yeah.
solo la modella. E dopo 2000, secondo me, 2000 è cambiato tutto, perché di quel punto lì la modella non esiste più. E io sono qua, no? Io sono qua a Los Angeles, io sono qua, ho ricevuto tutti quei regali, perché ho lavorato con i top photographers. Prima di quello uno deve capire una cosa molto molto importante per me, perché io ho imparato tutto in Milano, in Italia. Io ho lavorato come assistente con la mia prima agenzia era Aldo Coppola, Daniele Lui, ho lavorato con lui, con le sfilate di Gianfranco Ferré, di Armani. Io mi ricordo bene, è il mio lavoro con Giorgio Armani, sono andato lì al suo bello ufficio, non mi ricordo dov'è, però è lo stesso, sicuro c'è lo stesso indirizzo adesso. E lui era lì, no? Con la modella. Io sono un po' shock, no? Perché c'è Giorgio Armani che mi ha chiesto, ma cosa pensi tu? E io no. Da lì ho cominciato a capire bene, e il mondo è così piccolo, no? E tutti hanno questi sensibilità di ogni momento, un momento nuovo, no? Non è una cosa che you cannot take anything for granted.
No, non puoi prendere per scontato.
Sì, è ogni momento nuovo, un momento nuovo. E da lì, da Italia, perché ogni giorno quando vado a lavorare, ogni giorno è un nuovo giorno. Tu sei solo bravo del giorno dell'ultimo lavoro, no? E quando l'ultimo lavoro è finito, tu devi ricreare la stessa cosa la prossima. E non fermi mai. Però diciamo la verità, questa è una cosa, dopo 50 anni che io faccio il mio lavoro, 50,
Oh my God.
ogni giorno è un nuovo, perché c'è lo stesso feeling, la stessa passione, perché ho imparato tanti anni fa, you're only as good as your last hairstyle, your last haircut, your last color.
Robert, can you like lower the camera a little bit? Puoi passare un pochettino? Perché ecco, meglio, così ti vediamo più centrale. We see you now better. And I hope everybody that's joining us speaks Italian. Spero che tutti parlano italiano, perché ho visto che ci sono tante persone da tutto il mondo che ci stanno entrando. So let's go back and forth a little bit from Italian to, English, so that we can, get a little bit of everybody included.
Okay.
Robert, I can't believe 50 years.
50 years. Yesterday I was working out with a trainer.
50 anni, complimenti.
I know.
You look fabulous,
I had
darling.
some help. I had a little help. I live in Hollywood. What can I tell you? No, but it's been an incredible, I think there are people like me when I came here, quando arrivato qua, c'è la migliore agenzia, si chiama Cloutier. E la Cloutier c'era Peter Savick, Francesca Tolot, è un'italiana truccatrice di Veneto, a Milano, Francesca Tolot, c'è tanti che who do our work know her. Serena Radelli, un parrucchiere stupendo, bravo. Enzo Anglieri, all these people came from Milano, and they rooted themselves in Los Angeles and created this incredible group of hairdressers. I came years later, but they sort of paved the way for talent, because before that, look, you had to either be in New York, Milan, Paris, or London. Los Angeles was not cool to be a hairdresser or makeup artist in, but that changed, and they helped pave that way. And I think I came in after that, but I sort of helped as well behind them. And I hate, those of us that do what we do at this level, hate the word celebrity hairdresser, because it minimizes exactly what we don't want. It's not that we feel like I'm working with Cate Blanchett because I'm in awe of her for sure. She's an incredible talent, incredible actress. But it's on an equal basis, you know. It's not like this. It's sort of like I wouldn't be there if I didn't have the skill or the talent or the sensibility to be in the room. And it's a lot about that. It's a lot about being able to read the room.
Sicuro.
You know, to understand what the objective is, because red carpet hairdressing isn't the same as salon hairdressing. Photographic hair, photography, when you photograph hair is not the same. It translates different.
Absolutely.
So it's a whole different world. Now it's different because there are thousands and thousands of people that call themselves celebrity hairdressers because they have huge followings on social media. I don't have a huge following on social media. I have about 31,000 people. There's a reason because of that, because in my generation, when I was working with Jennifer and Mariah and women like that, social media didn't exist and they didn't want you to post stuff. It's different now.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Well, io ho anche meno seguaci. I have even less followers than you do. So it's just, yeah, I understand completely. But I would really like to, vorrei anche ritornare indietro un attimo, perché tu hai cominciato di lavorare in Hollywood, in California, quando esistevano ancora i supermodel, e poi queste transizioni verso i celebrity trovo molto interessante, e secondo me è iniziato con le riviste tipo Interview, Magazine, Wired, tante di queste riviste che facevano questo miscuglio fra personaggi della musica, del cinema e la moda. O non lo so, aiutaci.
Ciao Riccardo.
Transizione.
C'è il mio amico Riccardo, un truccatore di Milano. Ciao amore. Your question was the transition between models and actresses.
Yes.
Right?
What was it that really kind of made that happen? Because I was thinking, you know, that's pretty much the same time that a lot of the big magazines like Interview Magazine, Wired, a lot of these magazines that kind of mixed it all up, you know, like celebrities, music artists, fashion, and everything. And then that kind of just went into that kind of transition, it seemed.
I think secondo me c'è solo regione solamente. Era una regione di marketplace. It had everything to do with selling a magazine. Like Cindy Crawford couldn't sell a magazine anymore because she could. Cindy Crawford's amazing. I'm talking about the supermodel versus the actress. Cindy Crawford is a celebrity now. And then she was a model. So she has been very kind to me too, by the way. I love her to death. Anyway, it became a question of when they would be, I can give you a specific, I'm using Sharon Stone for an example. I see her from time to time. She's not one of my stable clients, but she's amazing. And I remember years at that period, she wore a Gap shirt and she told me the story to the Oscars one year. Something happened with the clothes and I don't remember what happened. She ended up putting on the skirt and a Gap shirt. What happened eventually was that Gap shirt sold millions and millions of dollars. And I think, and there was also a point, I believe, that she wanted a dress that she wore on the cover of a magazine. And they weren't going to give it to her. She said, well, I'm wearing this dress on the cover of a magazine. I'm selling this dress. Why am I not getting this? So I think at that point, it just started to gear towards more celebrity. And then it's from a market point of view, from that point of view, period. End of story. And then little by little, you saw less and less models and more magazines started to come out, especially, let's not forget, I think the one that changed the game was InStyle.
InStyle.
InStyle magazine sort of brought the celebrity into your home, right?
Right.
From that point, before that, you only saw them as an illusion, as a fantasy, an aspiration. But InStyle came along and decided to shoot these women, and I have like probably over 100 InStyle covers. And one of my dearest friends, Lori Kotakova, was a photo editor for years from Interview Magazine, from Rolling Stone, and she helped create InStyle Magazine. And what they did was, and I remember the first one I did was with Jamie Lee Curtis, who's still my friend after 25 years. And we shot her in her home. So you're in their homes, they become more attainable, more reachable, more acceptable. And you have an install made them feel more touchable.
Right.
And that, I think, changed drastically the
audio, Robert. We lost the audio. Talk?
cosa.
Okay, that's what you say.
After that, what happened was each magazine became less and less about aspiration, except Vogue, and more like InStyle and People. So you started to see celebrities everywhere. You never saw a model on or Dior or Chanel. Then you started to see, they started hiring and paying these actresses, A-list actresses, millions and millions of dollars to represent their brands. And we just happened to be there, you know, at the time, hair and makeup. We were part of that team of people that helped create these. I didn't do anything. I had a director, a photographer, and someone else giving me direction. These hands became somebody else's hands a lot of the times.
Sure. So è super affascinante questa transizione fra l'epoca del supermodel e poi come il celebrity in sé è diventato supermodel, e come questo, quello che è successo con Sharon Stone alle Academy Awards, che ha rifiutato di mettere quell'abito perché secondo lei doveva prendere qualche commissione perché vendeva l'abito se la mettesse, e se mettesse qualcosa di Gap, che è una linea proprio di pronto moda, e quel pezzo che lei ha messo di Gap è venduto milioni e milioni, e poi è scatenato questa realtà del celebrities a rappresentare la linea di moda. Fantastic. That's a great story.
That is a true story, right? Well, you can see how it's become, as you look around the atmosphere now in advertising, you see famous women actresses. And now it's pretty much become like the Hadids, the Bella and Gigi and the Gaia Gerbers, and those women have become celebrities on their own right.
Right.
So the world has sort of become one brand, the actual marketing place. So, and it's all through, you know, the Kardashians changed a lot of it too. They changed the way people saw things and the way they looked at it. If you're a Kardashian hairdresser or a makeup artist, you have fame. You become, my friend Mary Phillips has over 1.5 million followers on Insta, maybe 2 million. Chris Appleton, great hairdresser, has millions of followers from working with the Kardashians. When I worked with the Kardashians, it unfortunately was not cool. You know, it was like they had just started their show. We're like, and reality TV was a thing that we did not want to face back then.
Yeah.
And we worked with A-list celebrities. Like, I can't, you know, Kim is super, super nice. And I've worked with her twice, maybe 3 times, and lovely and nice, but we didn't advertise it back then because it wasn't a feather in our cap. It was something that we did because she was starting to come up, right?
Right.
And now you see how it's changed drastically. So you go from il 1995, when fashion and celebrity collided. Now you're talking 2020, anche prima di 2020, 2015, quando the reality TV stars, like come la Kardashians, cambiato il mondo, un altro mondo, cresciuto un'altra cosa. 200 milioni di followers on Instagram, la potere incredibile, perché nessuno guarda, especially i giovani, non guarda tanto il cinema, il TV, e vivere sulle telephone. Però we shouldn't talk about it anymore, because we should talk about how hairdressing is, how does someone like anyone that starts out in hairdressing and they want to go from I'm from a small town in northwestern Pennsylvania. Ho vissuto in un piccolo paese in Pennsylvania, come voi, come tanti persone. I don't know, je ne sais pas. I don't know how I got here. I only know that every time I did something, I wanted to do the next thing. So for me, I understood that I loved passionately hairdressing. I started out in a beauty school. I went and worked in salons in my town. I went to a bigger town. Then I started working with product lines. The first product line I worked with was called Tri, T-R-I. I don't even know if it exists anymore. Then I went to another town in Seattle where I met you. And I started in a big salon there and I became a creative director. And then from there, and this is in the 80s, c'è una grande negozio in America, si chiama Nordstrom, dove hanno questi advertising agency dalla la ditta. They don't hire outside. And they had started to do their own photo shoots. And I worked in a salon where I met the women that worked in the fashion department. And I always fantasized about, I looked at Italian Vogue all the time and I fantasized about that kind of hair. And I used to have their pictures of these models up on my mirror in my salon. And I would recreate these looks on these models in Seattle. And one day I thought, why not? What do I have to lose? The truth is, I'll tell you the truth. I was in Seattle. I was doing too many drugs, too much cocaine. It was the 80s. It was socially accepted. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to kill myself if I don't get out of here. So I rented a windmill in Sifnos, Greece. And I went to Greece for 3 months. And my boyfriend at the time had a friend who worked in Milan, a German girl. And I followed her to Milan from Greece. And I lived on her dining room floor for months. And I worked for like almost, for the first 4 or 5 years, flew back to Seattle, made money and came back to
Greece.
To Milan.
Oh,
to Milan. I was done with Greece. I was determined. I don't know what it was, but I thought, for me, Italy is the most amazing place in the world. And the fashion was just breathtaking. I mean, everything about it was breathtaking, and I was determined to be part of it. And little by little, I carved my way. I can remember buying 10 scatole di pasta e 10 tine di sugo per un mese, così c'è già abbastanza per mangiare per quel mese lì. I had no money, I had just enough to live. But I met so many incredible people, no? So many people that loved what we do. Makeup, fashion, beauty. We would run around Italy taking pictures, testing, doing everything that we could do.
I remember those days.
Yeah, you were part of that too. And we, you know, it's passion. You can say this. When you're young, you have a passion that nothing can stop you from, right? And you have so much more courage to do the things that you do. But I have to say, that it really never stopped for me. Hairdressing gave me this potera, this potential, and this knowledge that I knew that I was skilled at something, and that anything especially at that, I knew I was skilled at it. I'm not saying I'm a great artist. I'm a very good artisan. I'm a very good at my hands. I can copy really well. Guido Palau is a brilliant artist. They're amazing hairdressing artists. I'm good at what I do, and I knew that. So I took that knowledge and I just kept moving forward with it. When I moved back to Los Angeles, it wasn't because of any other reason, is that because I partied too much in Milano. I got too high, too drunk. You were one of the first people that told me maybe I had a problem drinking, and I looked at you like, are you crazy? And I got sober and I moved back to Los Angeles. It was a very good decision for me. And I met my husband in Italy. But I have to say, you know, here I am 50 years later, and I'm still doing hair. And I'm coming back to Italy in May to live. And I plan on doing something else. I don't know what that is, but I know that something else is going to come from this. I just have this gut feeling.
That's
You
right.
know, when you find a passion, you find something that you love. You have to believe in it, and you just keep moving forward.
Absolutely. Wow. What a story.
Che storia, eh?
Che storia, Robert Vetica. Da un piccolo paesino in America, come ti sei arrivata poi a Milano, dove hai veramente creato la tua carriera come stilista di capelli per le sfilate, per le riviste, eccetera, eccetera. E come questa cosa poi ti ha portato a Los Angeles di lavorare sulle più importanti personaggi mondiali e
È la più bella anche.
più belle, proprio per puro passione.
Pure passione.
Pura passione.
Sì, infatti. C'era il momento che io pensavo, adesso che mi ricordo bene, c'è qualche piccolo momento che io ho pensato, a quel momento di me, ho io guardato giù, sotto la mia mani, e visto questi famoso bella donna, e dice, ma... E mi ricordo bene, era Kim Basinger una volta, Kim
Basinger, wow, yeah.
And I can remember looking down thinking, oh my God, it's fucking Kim Basinger. Or Jennifer Lopez, la prima volta con Jennifer, io sono arrivato alla sua casa in Bel Air when she was married to Mark Anthony, ma lei è una bellezza pazzesco. E questo era 20 anni, no, 15 anni fa. Io ho guardato lei in specchio e ho pensato, mamma mia, Jennifer Lopez. And I told her, I said, oh my God, you're probably the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. But it just came out of me like that. But remember, I worked with Salma Hayek for many years. Here's my book, y'all. I wrote a book 12 years ago. You can still get it on Amazon.
Libero.
Un libro. La Salma è la mia. Io ho conosciuto Salma quando lei è arrivato in Los Angeles. I like to tell this story. Mi piace di dire questa storia perché è molto importante per me nella mia vita professionale e nella mia vita personale. Io ho conosciuto lei, mi ricordo quando la mia agente, quando era in 94, 95, detto, guarda, c'è questa bella messicana che è venuta qua in Los Angeles, è molto bella, ha fatto questi film con Antonio Banderas, non mi ricordo qual è il nome di quel film, Dusk Till Dawn, penso.
Oh, Dusk Till Dawn, what a cool movie, yeah.
And you should go work with her, devi andare a lavorare con lei. Io ho detto, ok, perché è quella, appunto, anche adesso quando loro mi chiedono di fare qualcuno io non conosco, io guardo su internet e lì non c'è l'internet. But I'm always there, okay, let me think about this. When you freelance, you can never know how to say no.
Yeah.
No doesn't exist in your head. So I've been saying yes for many, many, many years, sometimes to my own demise, but I said yes, and I went, and I met this little tiny Mexican. This is 25 years, well, wait, 1995, probably.
1995.
Yeah, 95, 96, when I met her. Anche non parlato l'inglese bene, solo piccole parole. Però ha una bellezza, guarda quella faccia, no?
Selma, sì, certo.
E anche lei ha una passione, una forza.
Ma si vede. You can see that she's so passionate and powerful in her job. I mean, she's in everything. She does everything.
She does everything. And da lì, da quel momento lì, quando ho conosciuto lei, siamo cresciuti insieme. Mi piace di dire così, perché quando la sua stella è cresciuto, io sono dietro di lei. Hi Gina, I love you too. Io sono dietro di lei. And I was behind her. I was her hairdresser, right? I went everywhere with her, did everything with her. And it was an amazing, amazing time because she was so beautiful. And what a muse to have Salma Hayek at that time, right? She's the maid of honor in my wedding. So, I mean, she was a very, very dear friend of mine. But I like to give credit where it's due, and it's because of that that I became, I think, a lot of my reputation happened because Selma started to become super famous, and her beauty was so incredibly astonishing to people. She was so beautiful with that perfect body and that friggin' tiny thing, and everything was compacted.
Ma allora quello è perché qualcuno ha chiesto prima chi era la tua preferita, nel senso che who was your favorite personaggio, who was your favorite celebrity that you ever done, and I guess you're just answering it now.
I mean, it varies from time. It's like in life, you know, in la vita tu ce l'hai l'amici che vieni a passo, come angeli che vieni aiuto di un momento di vita, no? E la Selma era lì per anni, no? E ce l'ho conosciuto tanti anche perché io adoro la Gloria Stefani. Però come personaggio, come persona, anche Mariah è stupendo. Mariah Carey è stupenda, è matta però in un senso meraviglioso. È stupendo, io adoro lei. Ridere con lei. Però come attrice era molto difficile per me perché tu come tutto parrucchiere che lì, like all hairdressers, capisci bene, understand completely. To be a great hairdresser and to maintain a clientele, when you're touching their heads and you're working on them, whether they're famous or not, they start to share everything. You become, it's true.
E confida.
And you open, yes, and you open your heart, apri il tuo cuore, no? E entra queste persone con tutta with all their love and heart and pain. And I learned a lot. And I hurt a lot. I can remember really well, and I'll give you an experience. Renee Zellweger, who I love and adore to this day.
He's an Academy Award.
Quando lei era, io ho conosciuto lei dopo Nurse Betty, no? Io sono camminato con lei dopo Nurse Betty, dopo Chicago, tutto, no? At qualche punto, at a certain point, she decided, and I was like 4 or 5 years with her around the world, and I loved her to pieces. I still do. At one point, she decided that she wanted to move on. As it so happens with people. But this world, it's not like I have one person in my chair and then Maria comes after and then Angela comes after. She was a consistent part of my life for a very long time. I was crushed, devastated. I didn't understand what I did. I learned a big lesson at that point, and I started to not to take it all so personal. But it's very difficult not to do. Because I suffered a lot with her, but she's still one of my favorite people. I learned so much with her, and I've seen her. I saw her last year right after she did Judy, and I had an amazing couple days with her. And I think that every person has had these special moments that there hasn't been one that people want to go, who's the worst you ever had? There isn't really, like, sometimes you don't connect with someone, and you know you don't connect. It's not like it was bad and it just was. I can remember one actress that's kind of famous, and I did a Neutrogena commercial with her, and she was super interested in Francesca. Like, she didn't give me the time of day. She was like insulting to me. I felt it was insulting. But it's okay. She wasn't into me, and I was totally into her when I got there. And then I thought, oh my God, that's amazing. She's amazing. And then when I got there, I was like, oh wow. We didn't, you know, I was like, she was a bitch, but she wasn't really a bitch. We just didn't connect. My favorite right now, obviously, is Cate Blanchett, and I learned a lot from her. And and I've known her over 10 years now. And la cosa che è molto brava con Cate, perché lei ce l'ha she has this talent to departmentalize everything. So, quando lei arrivi qua, lei sono qua, no? E lei lavora qua, abbiamo tanto lavoro da fare, è molto simpatico, un amore e tutto quello così, però non esci mai di quella, I don't want to say box, but non esci mai del nostro piccolo mondo, no?
Il ruolo?
Sì, io dico sempre io, perché non ho conosciuto lei 25 anni fa, perché ho perso tanto, I lost a lot of tears over these women, believe me when I tell you. Because, I'll explain something else to you. Being great at this job is just a small part of it. The other part of it, the big part of it, is the personality. You know, your heart, your soul, your open, your spirit, learning how to read a room, right? So it's all part of the bigger story.
Sure.
And if you're like me and any other hairdresser out there, your heart is open, your soul is open, and you think you're family, but you're not.
Never.
You think you're friends, but you're not.
No.
So how do you ride that, you know, that area, that gray area? I don't know. If someone could tell me, I'd be happy to listen, but I'm really bad at it.
Well, I've definitely over the years have learned healthy detachment. Proprio la parola è sano distacco.
Sano distacco.
Sì, because I think quando sei... well, Robert, tu hai lavorato diverso da tanti dei nostri colleghi che lavorano nel salone e i clienti e anche i clienti preferiti magari vengono 2 volte o 3 volte al mese per quell'ora, 2 ore o qualcosa, per cui è molto più facile di mantenere un certo distacco, you know, anche distacco, comunque c'è un bellissimo rapporto, ma esci dal salone il rapporto finisce perché poi devi aprire la porta al prossimo rapporto con la persona che c'è subito dopo. Invece tu hai seguito i personaggi e poi anche magari stai lavorando su un progetto e sei con una persona per giorni, se non addirittura settimane in un progetto, per un film, per qualcosa di questo genere. Per
sì,
cui...
per esempio, per adesso con Cate, perché lei è in queste campagne di per la Oscars, per la sua film Tar, siamo cominciato ottobre dell'anno scorso di fare la press per Tar, no? Cioè mesi insieme, no? Io non mi ricordo con René, con Chicago, mesi, mondo, mondiale. È pazzesco, siamo così vicino. Con Selma siamo fatto, e così tu fai anche con le aree private, con tutte queste cose così, e tu vivi in un mondo, e questa è un'altra cosa che fuck with your head. Perché I don't have a private jet, but I'm on a private jet. I'm in a 5-star hotel perché io faccio un albergo di 5 stelle perché qualcun altro paghi. Non pago io, se io pago da me stesso, io non pago 5 stelle.
Sì, certo.
Capito? Allora, and I think that what you said earlier was maybe it's really the same, really, at the end. The relationship with the client is really the same. For me to maintain these kind of relationships, per me, per tenere questi tipi di relazioni, guarda, io devo dire la verità, io ho perso la mia parola, io ho perso le mie idee. Io mi ricordo anni fa, quando uno mi dice, io sono pensato che io sono una persona molto forte, no? Con le mie idee, con la mia opinione, no? Però io sono lì a lavoro con uno molto famoso, molto chic, molto grande, che dice, guarda, che bella quella colore, che è un bel grigio. Ma no, Robert, non è grigio. Quello è nero, o quello è blu. Io ho detto, ma per me è grigio. Ma non... Allora, sai cosa è successo? È diventato blu. No, è vero. Io mi ricordo perché io sono fatto tanto terapia con una terapista, no? Perché ho perso la mia parola, I lost my voice, la mia voce. Perché io sono stato dietro di loro dopo un po', quando è arrivato qua, no. Però dopo un po', dopo anni, io ho cominciato di pull back. Va bene, no? Con Mariah, io non posso dire una parola di Mariah Carey. Io...
All right.
Capisci? Io ho cominciato a fare il buon, una good guy, good kid. Do my work, do it well, stay up for 18 hours and keep going, no?
Yeah.
And I remember when I lost my voice and I was like, oh my God, I don't have an opinion anymore. I would come home and yell at my husband and he was the one that I took everything out on him because at work I was super nice and passive.
Yeah.
But it's been in ogni cosa, in ogni situazione la mia vita, lavoro, la vita personale, la mia persona, la mia spirito, this job, this career, being a hairdresser. By the way, my parents didn't want me to be a hairdresser.
Mine didn't want me to be a hairdresser.
Yeah. But it has been the most amazing thing I have ever done.
Woo!
No, true.
Absolutely. Robert Vetica is like, is hairdressing not the most pazzesco carriera nel mondo?
I know. It's really amazing. It's super amazing. Yeah, it was the best choice I ever made. And I still love it. I still love it. And I'm almost, I'm at that age. I'm 68. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I want to still do it. I still have more to give. I want to teach.
Absolutely.
So when I come to Italy, we have to create something together.
Absolutely. Non vedo l'ora di fare qualcosa insieme qui in Italia con te, il grande Robert Vetica. La tua vita è un film, Robert. Your life is a friggin' fucking film.
I could write a book. That's true. I know a lot.
Incredible.
Hello, my darling. My Sherry just joined. I love her so much. Fournier PR. Marie-Laure.
E Maria?
Marie-Laure. No, una PR agency. Listen to me. Everyone that's listening, thank you so much for joining in and hearing my crazy story. I have a lot more to tell. I wish I could tell you. I can't tell you publicly, but I've got some stuff on a lot of people. But let's just remain with this thought. When you find something that you love, like I did, fortunate enough to find hairdressing when I was very young, and you attach your soul to it and your spirit and your drive, and you do whatever it is in that job. I never had to change my job. I only had to change how I did the job and in what part of the job. And that's the amazing thing about hairdressing. You can work in a salon, you can do creative work, you can have it photographed for hair magazines, you can work for a product company, you can educate, you can keep going and doing whatever you want to do. There's so many avenues to choose from in this job.
You and noi siamo esempi perfetti. Noi, la passione per acconciare, per fare parrucchiere, è la nostra anima. E noi abbiamo fatto di tutto, su aerei privati, in New York, Los Angeles, Milano, in giro al mondo, con aziende, sul pedane, per servizi fotografici, ma anche il mondo in sé è aperto a quello che facciamo. Se tu ami quello che fai, if you love this so much, you can go anywhere and be successful.
Or you don't have to go anywhere either. You can stay right where you are and have amazing experiences and relationships just with the people. Because I have to tell you, at the end of the day, and I wrote about it in my book, these women, yes, they're famous, they're beautiful, but they're just like other women. They have pains, they have families, they have children, they have their monthly problems, they have their hormones. Women all the same. When you take away everything else, when we're together in a room or on a photo shoot, yes, add a lot of the other stuff to it, but when you get rid of all the other stuff, you have to come down to earth and just do this. So I think that no matter where you are, no matter where you choose to do your hairdressing, you can have an amazing life doing this. And I'm super, super proud and happy that I chose to be a hairdresser.
I'm so glad that you said that. You know why? Parlo anche un pochettino in italiano, perché secondo me la professione della... Ok, noi siamo parrucchieri, no, truccatori, fotografi, abbiamo, diciamo, allargato un po', ma il professionista della bellezza in generale, so makeup artists, massage therapists, estheticians, hairdressers, nail artists, you know, they all really have a big impact on people's lives. Hanno un impatto molto, molto profondo, molto importante sulla vita degli altri. E adesso, Robert, in questo momento del nostro mondo, no? Non solo in America, ma anche qui in Europa, ma tutto il mondo, and the entire world, right now, there's so much craziness going on, so much uncertainty, so much transition and change. Così tante cose che stanno accadendo per destabilizzare un po' tutti. And I feel, e io lo sento, che in questo momento è il nostro momento da veramente shine, di veramente lavorare con la consapevolezza, to work with the awareness that our most important aspect of our work, la cosa più importante in assoluto, è di siamo sulla terra per aiutare il prossimo, to help others. This is the mission. This is why we chose, not only to become artists and express our creativity, but we basically became hair artists, facial makeup artists, massage therapists, estheticians, because our main goal when we started was to help others feel better about themselves, feel more lovable, and therefore more able to love better. And what a wonderful, wonderful thing. There's no other industry. There's no other industry.
Sì, ma c'è l'altro, c'è il lavoro di una puttana, l'escort.
Well, sì, in un certo senso.
No, io faccio scherzo. Sì. No, hai ragione tu, hai ragione. Hai ragione, che non perdi mai quell'idea. Non posso lasciare quella profondo, l'importanza di quando create la bellezza, quando tu hai questi scambi, c'è questi parrucchieri, c'è questi persone, non mi ricordo dov'è, però una parrucchiera in Italia, ma lui fa questi lavori di cambia. You guys chose him on the magazine once. You gave him an award. And I follow him on Instagram. He does these transformations that are so beautiful and so amazing. And I think that's what you're saying is what is true. The ability that we have, la potere che abbiamo di cambiare l'anima della nostra cliente in 60 minuti is incredible. And I think that una parte, io ho detto prima, una parte del mio successo che era non solo del mio lavoro, della mia mano, però perché io ho queste possibilità di dare questi spirito, di questi anima della situazione, di tirare fuori tutta la crisi, di tutto il negativo, no? Sì, qualche volta I stuck it all inside me, but the ability to let it all go, and that's a beautiful thing that we have, which is a really, I can remember, and io penso che tutto che guardi queste cose qua, che se pensa bene della prima volta quando tu hai cominciato di fare il nostro lavoro, il feeling che ti dà quando fa questi cambi, no? Tu cominci con i capelli bagnati, con questi donne qua. Forse la donna ha avuto litigato con i tuoi figli, la moglie, non lo so, marito. E tu arrivi lì alla sedia e dopo 60 minuti c'è questi grandi cambi, questi cose incredibili che loro, l'occhio apri, il cuore apri, tutto apri. Chi ha fatto quella? Tu. Hai fatto noi.
Yes.
That's a gift.
That's a gift and a grande responsabilità, and it's a big responsibility. But that gift, Robert, that gift, it creates a chain reaction because she leaves the salon, lei lascia il salone con questa anima aperta e questo amore che si sente anche verso di sé. She is better, relazione, meglio. She's better with her kids, with her husband, with the cash register at the supermarket, with the crazy person on the street in traffic. I mean, è una reazione a catena. It's a chain reaction of
È carino quell'idea, però a quel punto lì non posso, dopo 50 anni, io mi preoccupo di quel momento lì. Cosa fai lei dopo è la sua. Però parliamo della nostra gift, and we have the gift to create beauty and to change people's minds and spirits in a moment.
And impact the world. Perché quello che noi facciamo esce fuori nel mondo e ha il suo impatto.
You can say that. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutamente.
What we do impacts the world, Robert. And we just make the numbers. How many beauty professionals are on a city block?
Too many.
How many do they see on a daily basis? Each one of them. On a daily basis, weekly, monthly, yearly. How much of an impact? That is an army for good. It's
an army for good.
For good, for beauty. Like Dostoevsky, I can never pronounce his name. Dostoevsky said, beauty will save the world. I believe that we're going to have a huge impact. Beauty industry, with the beauty professional aware, consapevole della responsabilità che ha, se facciamo questa unione di consapevolezza e lavoriamo con questa missione di fare il bene, possiamo veramente avere un impatto, a grande impact on the world.
That's a lot. That's a big responsibility.
And I'm ready. It's time, Robert. We got to change the world.
But I would be remiss. I was thinking of something because you asked me about people, one of my favorite people. And since I'm talking to Italy, I don't think anybody knows, but Anastasia is my client and friend for many, many years. And she really helped transform my relationships too. She's a very strong, as you can imagine, the singer Anastasia. A very strong, powerful woman with a huge...
That is so weird. You bring her name up. I was thinking about her yesterday, and I said, where is Anastasia?
She's there. She's here right now. She's starting a tour again. She had to stop her tour for a little bit. But she taught me a lot too about this because we became like this from the beginning. So we learned a lot from each other, and she taught me a lot too. And it's true because I can use her as an example, because to get her on that stage and make her feel good, because sometimes these women arrive, right? And you're gonna go out and sing in front of 50,000 people. You're gonna have some shit in your head, right?
Oh,
so you be the hairdresser, makeup artist that has them in the room to prepare them, to get them going, to get them ready. That's why I think in the moment. And I think of what they do, yes, and how much power they have with the people like what you're speaking about, when the person in the chair goes out into the world. But I focus right on that room. And I maybe don't think about it as broadly as you do, because I think about it in a smaller sense, because I need to live in that small space. I can't take on the world, but I can take on Anastasia. Do you know what I mean? I can take on Cate, and I'm there for her.
Perfect what you're saying, Robert. That's all we need to do. Because if we are present and concentrated and dedicate our time to who we have in front of us. Listen and interpret who we have in front of them and help them to shine at that moment. That is already enough to change the world.
You're so crazy. Let's go to the Ukraine, fuckers.
Let's go on, like anywhere, and just do good, Robert. Being a hairdresser and a makeup artist, being present, like you said, all I can do is be present in the moment and do the best job that I absolutely can do to help that person in that moment will change the world. Because that person is going to go out and feel amazing and positive and go out and do positive, generate positive energy in the world. That's huge. That's a huge task in itself. We don't have to go out and do like, and do like you said, a big thing. We just have to be there at the moment, be present, and fare la cosa migliore che possiamo fare in quel momento lì, concentrato per aiutare quella persona, e quella persona va fuori a cambiare il mondo, perché noi abbiamo fatto il nostro
Questo è un masterclass.
We did our own part. We did our part.
Huh?
We did our part.
No, però puoi dire, facciamo un'altra volta, parliamo di questa storia in depth, di la masterclass, what you're talking about, the psychology behind it, the psychology behind what this is all about. Però quando tu lavori come noi in un mondo superficiale, no? Diciamo, perché proprio è superficiale, non una cosa che loro dice, no? Che la gente dice fuori, no? Tu e io capisci, non è superficiale, una cosa molto più profonda, molto più importante che quella che dice l'altro, no? Per quello non mi piace tanto di andare in questi grande hair shows, no? Because I go because I'm curious. But it's like a bunch of, old rock stars trying to like be fabulous. And that was never my thing, although I went and I taught and I did education, I did it for the reason that we're speaking about now. Like I'm here now, not about, I understand that I have an experience. Io ho capito bene che io ho un'esperienza molto profonda e molto importante, così non importante. Però è vissuto abbastanza lungo in questo mondo dove io capisci bene. I've lived here long enough to understand it's not so important celebrity hairdressing, no? La cosa più importante che io posso lasciare con la mia cliente qua, say I die one day and these women thought of me and they thought, wow, he was a really good guy. He really helped me understand, right? If they can come down that much. The thing that's really beautiful about being a hairdresser in a salon in a small town or in a normal town is you have more of a relationship that doesn't arrive from magazine covers or films or Oscar nominations or any of these things that interrupt the normal flow of life. Perché non è normale. La mia vita è normale, però non è normale.
Sì, certo,
right?
certo.
Però it has to come down to a level of normalcy because at the end of the day, I worked with Michelle Yeoh. You know who Michelle Yeoh is?
No.
She was in Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Great lady, and having a hard time finding a hairdresser here. And I say that specifically because social media has diluted our profession in a way that because you have 100,000 followers, it does not mean you're a good hairdresser. I'm so sorry to disappoint you. Because don't ask me for my opinion of your work just because you have 250,000 followers on social media. Prime example, some of these women have the freedom to work with the most famous or the most hairdressers in the world. How could someone like Michelle Yeoh have a hard time finding a hairdresser? I understand. I get it. I get it's not the quantity of people you do or the quantity of followers you have. It's the quality of your life. It's the quality of your work. It's about how you approach your life, and the way you approach your life is the way you approach your work, right?
Wow!
And I've always done that.
Robert, devi dirli in italiano anche, perché questo è meraviglioso. Repeat, please, in Italian. Can you do it?
Non è come tu, how do you say approach?
Come tu svolge.
Come tu svolge. Non è come tu svolgi il tuo lavoro, però come tu svolgi la tua vita. E questa è la parte molto più profonda e importante, perché tu svolgi la tua vita in un modo molto, diciamo spirituale, però non spirituale, in un modo sano, in un modo con il cuore aperto. Il tuo lavoro apri lo stesso, e quel mondo del tuo lavoro apri, senza te, senza la tua preoccupazione che cosa facciamo dopo, come si fa dopo. Non devi preoccupare perché arriva. It arrived for me, always. I went to the next place and it was there. All I had to do was get there.
Assolutamente.
E io, questa è la mia spero per Italia, queste volte, perché a 68 anni io ho deciso di ritornare in Italia. Per qualche ragione non lo so, perché io amo l'Italia, lo so bene, però I can't stop working. But I think I'm going to arrive there and something's going to meet me.
Absolutely. Well, noi ti apriamo i bracci per farti arrivare con...
Grazie. Okay, amore. We'll do this again, huh?
Absolutely, Robert Vetica. It's so glad I'm so honored and glad that you joined us here.
I'm so proud of you, darling. You've done such amazing things with your life, too.
Yeah,
People don't know. Next time I'm going to interview you.
We've had crazy times, Robert. Le nostre possiamo scrivere un film insieme.
I can think of a few.
Qua di là.
I can think of a few.
Anyways, you are the hairdresser to the stars. You've worked with all of the biggest and most important, most beautiful women in the world.
That's
and
true.
you did it on your own. And that's a lot to be proud of.
Thank you.
Devi essere super orgoglioso perché hai fatto una strada pazzesca. Sei come me, non abbiamo i più follower in assoluto, io pochissimi, ma hai seguito il tuo cuore. You followed your heart. You did your best. Hai lavorato sodo e forte, credendo in te stesso, believing in yourself, and you arrived to the highest levels. And that is something that we all need to strive for. And you did it with love, because that is how you entered into the hearts of the most important celebrities in the world. And that's how you also made the world a better place. E come anche tu hai creato un mondo migliore.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you.
Assolutamente. Robert Vetica da Los Angeles, California, da Hollywood, e con noi qui in Italia, Europa, probabilmente stanno da tutto il mondo, stanno provando di seguire, trying to follow this English Italian mess that we made, and had a good time doing it. Thank you so much, Robert.
Thank you, love. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Ciao a tutti. Grazie.
Ciao, ciao tutti. Ciao.
Alla prossima intervista. Ciao.
Ok, amore. Ciao.